Welcome to the Member xCite presentation. This is a chance for members to increase their profile amongst the businesses here and online. It's not a sales pitch, but a 10-minute insight into your field, a business innovation, or interesting area of your life. The concept is to provide great content that's helpful or interesting to the audience, and members are welcome to apply to present an xCite across any of our events, as well as our Facebook Lives, reaching audiences of over 10,000, building your brand credibility, and exponentially growing your business.
A good friend of mine, Nick Cree, up here on the Gold Coast. Nick Cree is a digital marketer, WordPress web developer, and runs the Business Owners Smashing It online meetup, now streamed live weekly across Australia and New Zealand. He got into the digital world with a startup mortgage and finance business in the late 90s and grew it to a national business winning award in mortgage industry prior to selling at the start of GFC. The skills and experience Nick brings are real world, street smart marketing. Having run businesses prior to his current business, Positive Business Online started 11 years ago to help other small business implement tried and battle-tested digital marketing insights. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'll leave you in the capable hands of Nick Cree.
So that's really what I'm going to talk about today is how to use your website as a marketing vehicle, because for most businesses, that's really what the job of the website is. That's effectively what it needs to be for. And there are, and that's not to discount, there are other types of websites as well, like for membership, for an intranet, for systems and procedures, for a whole range of things. But what I'm talking about today is a website, for business to grow your business, to get leads and inquiries. So I just qualify that because I know there's a whole range of sites out there. And most of the work that we do is with the small to medium business sector that need to grow their business and looking to grow their business. And the reality of it is that most businesses are their website is when they launch it. It goes up, and that's the last thing that ever happens with it. So it's really just a glorified brochure, and it doesn't really do a heck of a lot. So one of the complaints that quite often hear is that I built my website and it doesn't work, and there's some reasons why it doesn't work. So there's an expression out there. Anyone remember that film Field of Dreams? So that film. Field of Dreams, there's an expression in it, which is, and this is a guy building had a dream and a vision to build a baseball, set in America, but a baseball diamond in the middle of a maize field or a cornfield. And he didn't tell anyone about that. And the expression was, and it was really for legendary players that had passed away. So, but he was creating this space for them, and people said that it was mad. It was, it was never going to work. It was crazy. But his expression was, if you build it, they will come. So that's often people's thinking about the website. If I build a website, put it out there, people are going to come. So there's nothing that could really be further from the truth from that there. If you build it, launch it, and no one knows it's there, crickets. So it's going to be as effective really as having no website. So there are some things to make a website really function well and to be a profitable asset for your business. So the very first thing is to understand that the website only has one job and one job only. And everything on that website needs to be geared up for that single job. And if you understand this, then you will never have a problem with your website and your marketing again. You can have the ugliest website out there. You can have the prettiest website out there. But if it doesn't do just this one thing, then it's as good as not having a website at all. So we'll come to that. So if you remember also that a website is not just a thing on its own right. It's part of an integrated system. So it's a bit like Yellow Pages. Yellow Pages doesn't exist on its own right without people calling you from the Yellow Pages. I know some of you are asking, what are Yellow Pages? Yeah, for those that are over Over 45, you'll know what yellow pages are. So so that there is a system, but it's a fairly sort of limited system as well. So with a website, you need to think about what's its job first of all, and how does it fit with all of my marketing, so both offline and online. So I'll give you an example. Like most people's business cards these days have their website on. So having your website on your business card is a process of driving traffic to it. So getting people to the website is called driving traffic to it. So people have got your business card, they'll type in the web address, they'll come to your website. So that's driving traffic. So that's part of a system. And so when you launch your website and you hand out your business cards, then that'll generate some business. But the problem with that is you actually have to hand your business card to someone, or someone has to hand it on. So that's still a one-to-one interaction. So, and that takes a long time. So what we want to do is to try and get many people coming in from one action that you do. And so one way of doing that is today social media is really growing exponentially. Anyone that's on Facebook or LinkedIn will see the activity has just gone, from here up to here. So, as people are working from home and the whole environment, the work environment is quite different today. Social media is becoming more and more of a vehicle for people to communicate, but also to market too. And so actually posting up on social media, and in fact, doing things like this here are great things to do to start to get traffic to your website. And so part of the system is that once you've got your website built, you need a whole lot of sources there that drive traffic in, so people come to your website and they can start consuming the information that's there and specifically taking an action. Remember, the website's got one job and one job only. So I'll put you out of your misery. That job is to collect an email address. That's it. Once it's done that, its job is done, finished, it's over. And the reason why you need to collect an email address is that if you're paying for traffic, like with Google ads, or paying for Facebook ads or Instagram ads, and so you're paying for people to click on your links in those ads to come to your website, then what happens if they get to your website, have a look around, and then leave again? Chances are they're never going to come back again. And because they won't remember the address, the website address, because they've clicked on a link from, say, Facebook. So they haven't typed the address in, they've just clicked it. So they're not going to remember it. They might remember your business name, but probably not, because they'll be off looking at other websites. And if they're looking at your site, and if they do what I do, is if I'm searching for something in page one of the search results, I will right-click on each of the links that are in there and open them all up in different tabs, and then I'm sort of skipping through each tab to see which one I think is the best. People are doing that to you and your website as well too. So you need to have something there that has them say that you're the best and to stick around and do something. The important thing is they need to do something, and that thing they need to do is to leave their email address. So why? Well, because on Facebook, you don't get their email address, so you can't communicate directly with them. From LinkedIn, can't do it. Google, you can't do it. So your job of advertising, whether it's organic or paid, is to get them to your website address, to get their email address, or get them to leave their email address. Because once you've got that, then you no longer, like in an ideal world, you would no longer need to pay for any ads. You've got a captive market there that you can market to effectively for free. It's not 100% free, but effectively for free. So think about your driving traffic is got that one purpose, to get that email address. Now, once you've got that email address, then you can start emailing those people. And one of the things I would recommend that you don't do is immediately email to sell your stuff and to try and make a sale. That's a bit like, and look, I haven't done this for years, but that's a bit like of someone, and instead of just going out for a coffee and getting to know each other, so that gradual process, It's straight into, do you want to come and move in and live with me? So that's a bit weird and a bit freaky. So, but that's how people often are in business. Like, I've just met you, come and buy my stuff. So, so if your website's set up to do that, you need to change all that, get rid of all that, and think that it's only got one job, and that's to get an email address, because all of that sales activity will happen off your website, and it will happen as a direct result of a relationship that you or your staff have with the people that have come through. So, so when you're collecting those email addresses, the other part of the system, so remember sort of the system there of driving traffic, Google Ads, Facebook Ads, social media, search engine optimization, that drives them to your website. Your website then, once it gets that email address, and how you get them to leave it is you need to leave them something compelling that they want. So so don't. I would recommend that you that when you're writing text and selecting images on your website, don't just hand it over to a copywriter and just get back whatever they give you. Some really good copywriters out there who will do really well, and there are some others that are pretty average that really just write to a formula. 300 words for the website, because that was the old standard for SEO. Just 300 words is enough for search engines, and then throw it up on the page. Problem with that is if you're writing for search engines, then you're not writing for humans. And what I mean by that is that your text and your copy and your images on the website is your first impression for your customers. So so it needs to be compelling. It can't just be words on the page that are fairly generic, like an article, because who's interested in that there? It really needs to express your personality, your business's vision and mission, but more importantly, it needs to have information on there about the problems, the issues, the solutions that people are searching for, and more, the terms that they're putting into the search engines. It needs to answer the questions that they're putting in, and part of that answering the question is really about explaining the problem. So you want to be able to articulate on the web pages the issue, the problem that people are having, what they're looking to get solved. You need to be able to articulate it better than they can do it themselves. So put in words that are better than they can express themselves, including their emotion, like how they feel about it, what's happening, as a result of not having this solved, and there's a funny thing that happens too. If you can articulate people's issues or their problems far better than they can, they assume you've got the solution. So you don't need to say that you have the solution or explain what the solution is. They already think that you've got the solution by virtue of the fact that you've been able to express it far better than they can. And so the purpose of that is you want to get them thinking that's me. That's exactly my situation. That's exactly how I feel. So if you can get them to think and start to say those sort of things, and then anticipate the questions that they're going to ask. So if you're going to answer the questions that they've got in their minds and articulate those before they ask them, then that creates a great deal of trust, because they think that you already understand them without you talking to them. So that's your web page. That you really do need to spend quite a bit of time on it. And if you want some tips about how to do that, my recommendation is to use one of these. So use a phone, and when you're in a sales meeting with someone, or you're in a meeting with a client who is asking questions, and you're going through your process, put this onto record and record what you say. And because most people, when they're talking about their business and what they do, and so working with a potential client or customers, there are things that you say that really engage the client or customer. And that's the thing that gets them to say, yes, I want that. So if you can record that, and then there's a great little app out there called otter.ai. So OTTER, like the animal, .ai. You can upload the audio and it will transcribe it for you. Now that transcription, look, it's not going to be perfect. There's going to be some weird words, and it's not going to get all the context. But it's about 90% correct. It's been getting better and better every year. and it's free. So you get 600 minutes for free. So that's about 10 hours worth. And so with that, that becomes the basis of your copy. So either you or you could send it to a copywriter, and that becomes the base of your content. So, and the reason why you do that is that there's some gems and some gold that you say there that are the reason why people buy. When you're one-on-one with them, you want exactly the same thing on your web page as well too. So you want your phraseology, the words that you use, so that as people are reading it, it's conversational. And then when they meet you, then it's the same stuff. So the way you speak in person is the same as the way you speak on the web page. It's called being congruent. And if it's congruent, there's no disconnect. People think, oh, hang on, that's different sort of thing. It's congruent, and it just adds another piece in the trust puzzle. So it's like it just sort of ticks another box. So so your content needs to do that. Now with your content, you don't necessarily need to give out all the solutions. Remember, just by articulating the problem as well as you can, answering questions, and really digging deep into it, people think you've already got the solution. So one of the best giveaways you can give away on a website to get an email address is a checklist and a document there which explains it more. So like if your web page says, this is it, if you want to find out more information, sort of get in depth, or if you want to know how to do it, download this and then you can run through it yourself. Now the checklist, I just love the checklist, because what you can do is that with the checklist you have maybe sort of 10, 12, 15 items on the checklist. And what you want to encourage people to do is to take it to your competitors. Say that in order to get your issue solved, your problem solved, or get ideally what you need to tick all of the boxes in this checklist, so 100% of the boxes. So take it around, do your comparisons, and you want to make sure that in that checklist that there are things there that your competitors don't do. So when they take it along to your competitors, they can't get 100% of the ticks in the boxes. And humans are what they call completionists. Most people like to finish things or have things complete. They don't like things that are incomplete. So they want to tick all the boxes. And so when they bring that checklist back to you, you run through it and they tick all of those boxes 100%. So if you're comparing, if they're comparing competitors to you, here's another thing that says, hey, look, you're the best because you've got 100% of these things. Why would I go anywhere else? So download. So have some sort of downloadable sort of checklist that is really going to, and the way you frame it is something that they can use. This is not a sales pitch. Something that they can use. So, for instance, I was building a fence around our property to keep chickens in. And because they were wandering out, we had complaints to the council because our chickens were going to other people's gardens, which I sort of understand. So I did a lot of research into how to build a fence. The best thing I ever went to was a Bunnings site. And so I got all the information that I needed. They weren't selling me stuff, but they gave me all the information which I could download. And so I had a checklist there of all the things I needed for the fence. Who am I going to go to? Well, it's Bunnings. Bunnings gave me the information, so I'm going to go there and get it. So I spent a lot of money with Bunnings for that there. But same principle for your business. So think about what can you provide as a DIY checklist for people. That some of them will still DIY, but others will come back to you and say, I want you to do it. So then when they put their email address in to download it, that's got to go into what we call a CRM. So that's a customer relationship management system. So like an example of that is like a very, very basic one is MailChimp. Like MailChimp is not really a CRM at all. It's more of an email program, although they are sort of upping their game a bit more. But, something like Infusionsoft or which is now Keep, Ontraport, ActiveCampaign, and my favorite, which I think is the best one out there, is one called drip.com. So you wanted to go into a CRM, and then your CRM, the beauty about a CRM is that you can set up you can tag them, for instance, so you know that they downloaded this particular checklist, which will add them to a campaign, which will then start to send them out emails which relate to that checklist or whatever they downloaded and the information that they've requested. They can download it the emails will go out and it will give them even more information and even more value. So emails are not to sell. So don't make the mistake of just trying to sell on the emails. You want to give them even more information, because what you're doing is you're developing that relationship. You've gone out for a coffee, you've then gone out to lunch, then you've gone out to sort of theatre and dinner, and then you've sort of gone out for a weekend away. So that's the whole process with those emails as well. You just building and developing that relationship of trust until you decide that, yep, you're right for me, let's move in together, or I'm going to buy from you. So it's a gradual process, and the purpose of each of those emails is once they've read it, is that when you send another one, they're going to open the next one. And so you might send 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15 emails, 50. I've got one series that are 52 emails. I send one a week every week. And it's all information that's helpful and that they can act on. You want something they can act on. And then towards the end of your series, like if you've got a series of 8 or 9 or 10 emails, then you can have a sort of a gentle call to action as, hey, look, if you want to hand it all, just give us a call, send us an email. Happy to have a conversation with you. So the job of that email is not to make the sale; it's to get them to take the next step. So if you think about the process, is that they've come from Facebook and you've invited them to take the next step, which is to click through and visit your website. When they're on the website, they've been reading some of the content, saying, "Hey, this is really good," and look, you really understand what I'm talking about. I'd like to know a bit more, so I'm going to put my email address in. So that content is to invite them to put their email address in to download something. And so when that email address goes into your CRM and you send out the first email, that there is the next invitation to get them to open the next email that comes on, or you can have another link in the email to your website with more information. So my thinking about those emails is that you don't want long emails. You want short emails which have got a question or something punchy or something interesting, where they say in their minds, they say, "Hey, look, I do want to know a bit more about that," and so they click on the link back to your website where you've got full information. So here they are back into your website again, reading some more information. There's heaps of value, and on your website you've got your other calls to action. You've got your phone number up on the top right. Phone number should always be up on the top right. And so, as they get through, they'll start to explore other things. So every day, every couple of days, you've got a new email going out, just adding more and more value and giving them more and more information that they really want that helps to answer their questions. So having a CRM allows you to do that. Now, a good CRM, which is why I love Drip, is that if they click on a link, they've clicked on a link, and so then you can ask them a targeted question about sort of having clicked on a link. Hey, it's like, "Hey, look, I see that you visited this page, or you read some more information about this. Any questions? Anything you think?" If they didn't click on the link, then you could send them, sort of another series of emails. So you can move people around based on the actions that they take. And so it becomes quite a personal experience for them, even though it's an automated experience. So, and part of that, which we won't go into today, is sort of mapping out a customer journey. How do you take them on a journey of not knowing you, sort of through a pathway through where they really love you and like you, and become an absolute advocate for you to your other business. So in all that, can you see that the website only plays a minor role? What's a big role? But the only role is to get that email address, and all of your marketing work happens with your CRM. So absolutely vital you have a CRM. It's going to cost you. So expect to pay anything from $40 through to sort of a couple of $100. If you're just starting, you'd expect around that. So $40, $50, $60 a month you're going to be paying for it. But look, think about how many sales you'll make as a result of it. Even if you just make one sale, is that going to be worth it? For most businesses, yes, it is. So invest in that, having a website and a CRM. Absolutely, those two things need to work together. And that's one of the reasons why websites fail, because they don't have that combination together. And remember that one job that your website's got to do is to collect an email address. So you think about all the text that's on it, the images that are on it, everything you're putting on it needs to point through to getting that email address. So you want them thinking, I want to find out more. And so in order to get more, it's all about their curiosity. In order to get more, then they've got to provide their email address. So the other ways that email addresses can be used as well is that when you've got a CRM, you can export out all of your email addresses, upload them to Facebook, in the Facebook business section or ad section, and you can go and ask Facebook to go out and find all these people with this email address and create a custom audience for you. So that way you can market directly to Facebook. Doesn't keep those email addresses. It's just really matching them with the same email address that's in their system, and it will create a group for you, which basically becomes a group of your customers, or it can become a group of your prospects that haven't bought from you. So if it's a group of prospects that haven't bought from you, now you can target them on Facebook with similar information that you're sending out by autoresponder. So not only are they getting stuff in their email inbox, but they're getting it in their Facebook feed as well too. Now, when you send an email to their inbox, they know it's from you, but in Facebook, they don't know that really you've set it up to do that. They just keep seeing your face, your business all the time in email and on Facebook. And then if you can then use that for remarketing, so that once they visit your website or once you've got that email address, then you can have ads that appear for them on other pages and other websites. So not only do they see you in their Facebook feed and an email, but they see you on other sites and places that they're visiting as well too. So what happens is that you keep front of mind. There's a marketing principle that people buy. There are two key drivers. One is frequency, and the other is recency. So if they see you lots and lots and lots of times and become familiar with you, get to know you, that's called frequency. So you want to have a reasonably high frequency with people. And then the other one is recency. So they might not be ready to buy yet, but it might be a journey, and they just keep seeing you. So let's think for a house, real estate. People are only going to buy a house once every 5, 6, 7 years, sort of thing. So, but if they keep seeing you, and then they get ready to sell their house, and they think, oh, we need a real estate agent, and then another email pops into their box from you. That's recency. They're ready to buy right now. You've just appeared at the right time, and so they know you because of the frequency. You've come in at the right time, so that's recency. So that's where you get some of the conversions. And it's far easier to work with someone that you know than looking for someone that you don't know. So it's a really valuable process. Once you understand that, you will never have to struggle for leads and business again. One of the best emails I used to send out, so I had a CRM way back in, that sounds terrible, it makes me sound old, way back in 2001. So the one that I was using then was a desktop one on called Act, and I customized the heck out of that. But the best email that I ever sent out to people that always generated business, and it still works today, is a really simple email. And I would email it out to my list, and it would say, hi, John, if their name happened to be John, so you customize that then. Hi, John, Mary, Heather, whatever. And it's like, hey, how's things going? I was just sort of thinking about you the other day. Hope everything's okay. Regards, Nick. That's it. And I guarantee that that email always used to bring us in 5 or 6 pieces of business, because what would happen is that people come back and they'd say, oh, hey, look, it's funny, I was just thinking about you the other day. We're thinking about buying a new property, or thinking about refinancing, or we've got some sort of project that we're looking at. How timely that your email came in. So, and other people will respond. So it just keeps up the relationship. Now you can automate that today on, with your CRM. One of the keys to it is to make it not like a canned email. You want to make it like a personal email. So just write as you normally would. Write to one person. Don't make the mistake of writing your email thinking about lots of people. Pick a name, write to that person, and then send it out to everyone. So it's personal. And what I mean by that is some CRMs will also allow you to craft beautiful emails with images and headers and all that sort of stuff there. Don't use that. Just use it like an email, because that looks like a marketing email. You want it to look like a personal email. So just use the standard, HTML text email. So that's how you can. So that's another way to use your email. The other thing about Facebook as well too is that you can upload. So once you've uploaded all of your email addresses for your customers and contacts, you can then go and ask Facebook and say, hey, look, these are my ideal customers or prospects. They've proven it because they're in my CRM because they've left their email address. I want more people like that there. So chances are that because they're interested, if anyone else that's very similar to them, they'll also be interested as well. So Facebook collects, as we know, an incredible amount of data on people, and people give it away voluntarily. So things like their age, how many kids they've got, where they live, their income information, a ton of information. So just think about this. If you've seen those funny little things on there, like who's your ideal wife sort of thing, and you click start now, and it's a little competition or funny sort of gift sort of thing, and you go through that. They are collecting information from you. So all of those games on Facebook, beware of that, because they're collecting information. Yes, it's fun, but that's how your information's gathered. So with that, so then you send Facebook out and say, hey, I want a whole set of people that are just like these existing people that I've got in my CRM. It'll go out and find those people, create what they call a lookalike audience, and then you can start to market to them the same way that you marketed to those original people. Excuse me. And get them into your funnel as well too. So get them to your website, giving their email address into your CRM, into the same process. All right, getting a bit excited here. My throat's getting a bit dry, so eyes are tearing up. If you see that, it's only because I've got a sore. My throat's sort of starting to get a bit dry. All right, so your CRM's absolutely vital because you can do all sorts of things with that email address. So if you think about your philosophy of your marketing as well and how that works, you don't want to pay for leads all the time. Like lots of advertising companies and digital agencies work on the basis of sending you traffic all the time to sell stuff. And only about 3% of people in the marketplace are ready to buy anything right now. The other 90%, they're just looking, or they don't even know yet. So, and they're ready and sort of so I don't even know what I want stage through to, oh, that's interesting. Yes, I've got that problem, through to researching, finding out a bit more, and then who's the best person to help solve this. So you've got a whole range of people in those 97. So those are the people that you want to get into your database. You'll make some sales along the way. Yes, that's great. That's a bonus. But your objective should be getting to your website to get their email address. Then you never have to pay for ads to them again because you've got them in your system, and you can contact them directly through their email address. And so when you're driving more traffic through paid ads, you're doing that to just keep filling your CRM. So here's my challenge to you, is that you want to build your CRM so that you've got at least 10,000 email addresses in it. So it's going to take some work. It may take you 12 months or so, or 24 months to do it. Your target should be getting 10,000. Don't sort of get your eye off the ball there, because if you've got I was speaking to someone the other day. They had 500 people in their CRM, and you were saying that when I send out my marketing, I don't make any sales. And I said, well, yes, if only 3% of people are ready to buy right now, what's 3% of 500? It's 0.15%. So, you've got to send out a lot of material to get just one person to buy. If you got 10,000 people in your CRM and 3% of people are ready to buy, there's three sales. So every time that you send out something, you'll get 3 sales. So that's the power of building up your CRM, is that you want to get sort of as many. So 10,000 is your first, and then I'd start to keep building and beyond that. Every month you want to be adding at least 100 people to your CRM, and taking through a customer journey. So this is sort of about websites. We thought, I'm a web developer. And remember that I said at the beginning that I come to the web development field from a marketing perspective, having run a business and built a business on digital marketing. So that's what I bring to the table with small business today is not just building a website, not just thinking about that website in isolation, but thinking about how are you going to use that system so it's going to work to generate, at the end of the day, sales for your business. So, and it's a gently approach where every step that you take leads them onto the next step. And in that process, like on Facebook and the ads, the objective is just to get them to click. That's it. Once they click, job done. Get to your website. Your objective is to get them to leave their email address. Once they've done that, job done. Once they're into your CRM, your objective is to send them out an email to invite them to read the next email. So if they open the next email, job done. And then, so as you get through the email sequence, there'll be an email that says, hey, if you need a hand or you want to have a chat, give us a call. They pick up the phone or click the link to give you a call. Job done for that email. So everything is in small steps. It's not one gigantic step of come to my website and buy my stuff. So you really have to think of incremental steps. Think about your behavior. Think about your customers' behavior, what you do now, what's normal, and that's how you need to work out your digital marketing process. So hopefully that's helpful. I think now with the current situation where we're in now, there's some fundamental shifts in behavior. So everybody that is in business today needs to be online. There's no excuse for not doing it. There's no business that can't go online. So I've been working with yoga studios who are delivering classes one-to-one. People paying $10 a time to come to a class. They can't do that anymore, so they're now embracing technology to get online and delivering through platforms like this or Zoom or Facebook Live. And then instead of here's interesting, instead of paying per class, now they're looking at this one particular client I've got is looking at paying getting people to pay a subscription. So they pay a monthly subscription of maybe not $10 a class, but let's say $50 a month or $40 a month, and they can come to as many classes as they like. It doesn't cost her any more money to do it. But she's delivering the classes. Now, here's the really good thing too, is that these classes, because they're being streamed out on a video platform, they're being recorded. What can she do with these recordings? Now she can, either cut them up as small snippets to use in Facebook, her Facebook marketing, putting content up on Facebook, or she can create them into a self-help membership site-based yoga class where people can come in at any time they want and pick a yoga class and do it. So they don't have to wait for the time that goes live. She's now got a resource that it can be a global resource that she can get subscribers in for, who knows, $10 a month, $20 a month to have access to yoga 24/7, 365 days of the year. She never has to do another yoga class again. Or if she wants to have a holiday and she wants to continue her yoga, she's got resources that people can access. Her income just doesn't stop for that. So start thinking about business differently. Start thinking about how you can tap into what we call the subscription economy today, and how can you still start to, as we come out the other side of this, how can you prepare now so that you can move people from the way that they did do business, because they have to now, into sort of a format where it's more robust, more reliable for you, and you've got consistent income coming through. So if anyone wants to have a chat about that, I'm more than happy to have a conversation with you about how you might, what tools to use, how to work your website, what CRMs to use, how to put that whole system together so that you've got something that's not only good for today in this emergency sort of period that we've got at the moment to get you sort of up and running. Like we can get people up and running in 7 days. So it's not just for now, but when we come out the other side where who knows what normal is going to look like on the other side. But, at some point when we come out, when we're allowed to sort of associate and touch and hug and, be normal people again, and have sort of shops open, go to cafes, as we emerge, then you've now got 2 ways of doing business. You've got online and offline. Some people choose never to go back to offline. What I really hope is that if you're doing online now, you never choose to stop doing that, but you're really developing your business to the next level. So, so Mike Remo, I wish I started our CRM database 20 years ago. Absolutely. That's one thing you'd never let go, is you will just want to have a CRM, hang on to it, keep building it, keep it active and keep it going. And Heather, please, you can replay. Great. Yep. No, that's great. So I'm glad. So this is great for me too. So this resource here, being able to record this, is now information I can use in some of my promotions and in giving content. You can turn this recording into a podcast as well. And I'd recommend that everyone think about podcasting as well. So rip the sound out, turn it into a podcast, upload it to iTunes or a podcast channel. We can transcribe it. There's text in there that we can use for blog posts, for social media posts, for emails as well too. So all of the things I've spoken about, like for me, this video here will do all of that for me. So it'll take me from not knowing someone right through to sale just by repurposing this content. So I'd say, one of the best things you can do is come and do a BX Live, go and do Facebook Lives, go and get online and do your video content and start from there. Don't worry if you're not confident, because no one's confident when they first start out, but just keep doing it, persist with it, and you will get some fantastic content that will come out of there that you can reuse and use, and it makes your whole digital process easy. No longer you're thinking about having to write words on paper. You've already got the words there because you've spoken it. There's nothing more powerful than your spoken word. So that's pretty much all I've got for you today. If you do want to find where I am, you can find me on Facebook. Best place to find me is the Business Owners Smashing It Online Facebook group. Come and join that. That is for business owners to learn how to do more of what I've spoken about today. And you can find me on my website, which is positivebusinessonline.com. Happy for you to come and put an inquiry there. Give me a call, send an email, whatever. Happy to chat.